Welcome to the Apocalypse Survivors Club Radio Hour, where we bring you stories of people who gave up everything for the end of the world and received just another normal day in return. Those who sacrificed so much and never received the revelations they were promised. Tonight, we will be presenting the final play in our series. We begin on the front porch of a modest home just outside of Black Oak, Arkansas, the morning before the last day, just after dawn. The sound of the world waking up, bees, a slight breeze, the occasional bird, quiet, soft. Timothy is sitting silently on the steps of the porch. Bess opens the screen door, steps out onto the porch, sits next to Timothy, and hands him a cup of coffee.
Thank you, Bess.
Can't believe you didn't make coffee.
I like it when you make it. Tastes better.
Just beans and water. Don't do nothing special.
Tastes like love. Tastes like a sweet gesture when you do it. Don't even need sugar.
How long you been awake?
Couple hours.
Why didn't you wake me?
Oh, you look so peaceful.
Then there'll be plenty of time for peace later.
God willing.
They sit and drink their coffee. A dog barks in the distance. A solitary bird chirps.
It's a beautiful morning.
It's a wonderful gift.
Seems like a bit of a tease, don't you think?
How do you mean?
It was such a beautiful morning, only to take it away at the next dawn.
I believe that we're meant to bring it with us, to hold it in our hearts. One last beautiful sunrise before the skies become as blood.
I didn't see the sunrise. You let me sleep through it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, I suppose. I've seen many beautiful sunrises back when I was young and full of energy and hope. Back when nothing could keep me in bed. I'll just think on them when the time comes.
You always make the best of a bad situation.
I've had more practice than most.
Was it really such a bad life?
It was a hard life.
A hard life is a gift from the Lord.
How you figure?
A hard life builds character. A hard life makes a good person, and a good life makes a soft person. It makes a person weak and ungrateful.
I wouldn't have minded a little softness now and again.
The Lord only gives us what we can handle.
I never believed that line.
What do you mean you never believed it?
Because it's not true. That's not what it says in the Bible. God damn it, Timothy. You're a preacher, and I've been listening to you misquote scripture during our whole marriage. And on our last day, can't we just get the words right? 1 Corinthians says, God is faithful. He will not suffer you to be tempted beyond that which ye are able to bear. It's about temptation. It's about sin, not hardship. I've been getting it wrong all these years. You and everybody else, peddling some kind of inspirational poster nonsense because it plays better to the crowd. It's just wrong. It's not what the words say.
This is our Second Amendment argument all over again.
Words have meaning, Timothy. Sick of your paraphrasing the important shit.
Okay, I will be less interpretive with scripture, if you will mind the swearing.
I believe the Lord will forgive some swearing on the day before the apocalypse.
He might, but I won't.
Well, ain't that a goddamn shame? Because just hours before final judgment, it's really your opinion that matters to me most.
I have spent my life doing the Lord's work. I'd like to think that gives my opinion a little weight. Never mind that I am your husband and should be accorded some respect just for that.
A husband and a father.
It's unusually quiet today, don't you think? I feel like I normally hear more bird songs at dawn, but this morning it was unusually silent.
I wouldn't know. I'm normally not awake at dawn, and I wasn't today.
Should I spend my last day on earth apologizing for not waking you up?
Not for that, no.
Would you like to go out to dinner tonight?
Kind of a last meal thing.
Yes. I think we can treat ourselves. We can put out all the stops. It's not like we'll need money after tomorrow morning.
I would like an entire bottle of very expensive scotch.
I'm an alcoholic, Beth.
Really? I'm unaware of that. When we were first married and you'd disappear for days at a time, I never once suspected that alcohol was involved. When I'd find you in the morning slumped over on this porch, I thought that you'd come home from a late night prayer service and didn't want to wake me. And when I'd get summoned to the bar at 4 a.m. to drag you home, I thought it was just because you were exhausted from ministering to all those unfortunate drunks.
That's very funny.
No. What's funny is that the apocalypse is coming tomorrow morning and you are so goddamn controlling that I can't even have a drink, a toast to the end of the world because you are an alcoholic, because you don't want to be tempted. Well, Tim, the Lord will not suffer you to be tempted beyond that which ye are able to bear. The Lord and I believe that you can handle watching me get drunk. And if you can't, you fall off the wagon. At this point, who the hell cares? I'm going to get drunk today, Tim, because as the song goes, it's the end of the world as we know it. And I desperately want to feel fine. Not great and not good, just fine.
Do whatever you want. Just don't do it around me.
God, it is astonishing how iron-willed and heartless you can be in some circumstances, and yet so catastrophically weak when confronted by a temptation.
Is this really the time to be airing your grievances?
Not now. And when? In paradise?
Well, you got me there. I expect that there'll be no nagging in heaven. But then, you do enjoy nagging and haranguing. So maybe that's an important part of heaven to you. So how would that work? How could we, as a couple, have heavens that are so contradictory? That's what we used to call a head scratcher.
I'm very happy you don't get to choose my heaven for me.
Oh, come on now, Bess, I was just teasing.
Is that how you're choosing to spend your last day on earth, trying to get a rise out of me?
You never realized that this was just me being sweet, did you? That teasing's how I show my affection. I wanted to spend our last day on earth doing all the things we do. coffee in the morning, on our porch, a little conversational back and forth, maybe a nice walk, a fancy dinner. We are going to paradise soon, where our joys will be transcendent, innumerable, unimaginable, and I just wanted to experience the simple ones one last time. By this hour tomorrow, it will not be the sun we see, but the breaking open of seals, blood red skies, angels and demons. I would like our last day to be normal. But our kind of normal, our special kind of normal.
What do you think Bobby's last day was like?
I don't think about it.
Really? Because I do. Every day. I think about it in the most exquisite detail. And it's almost as if I layer her day over mine, like film on water, like a fish tank or on a pond. I put on my slippers in the morning and I think, are her feet cold? It was early spring, but she was living in New York, so she may have felt it, the cold. I imagine she didn't have rugs, so she's probably putting her feet on bare wood or tile. I imagine she pulls on a robe and goes to the kitchen. And I hope, because it's her last day, that she makes something special. That she didn't just pour cereal in a bowl, that she makes French toast. No syrup, powdered sugar, just like she liked it when she was young.
Why are you doing this? What is the point of this ugly, preposterous exercise?
Every day for the last 4 years, I have experienced 2 days at once. My normal one and her last one. And now, today, I relive her last one and I live my last one. And it's such a wonderful synchronicity that I'm awed by the presence of God in it.
God is not in what you are doing. God is very far from it. And it was him. Bobby was a him. We had a son, and he has been dead longer than 4 years.
Even now, with the apocalypse imminent, you can find no love in your heart?
I have righteousness in my heart. That is enough. I will be judged on that. Our son was judged, and I do not expect that I will see him in heaven.
I have heard you preach. I have heard you say that you should not be surprised to find Judas in heaven.
And I believe that.
Do you count Bobby's betrayal of you to be more egregious than Judas's betrayal of Jesus?
No, of course not. I just believe that Judas would have found it in himself to seek forgiveness before his suicide. I have no reason to believe our son was capable of seeking redemption.
Bobby was more lost than Jesus? Than Judas?
Yes.
What a terrible thing to say.
He committed a great sin.
She was only living the truth of what God made her. Her body was a mistake. Inside, she was a girl, and I always knew it, and you knew it too, but you refused to see it.
I did what I could to set him on the right path. I prayed and I preached.
Yes, I know. I saw the coroner's photos. The lingering evidence of your prayers are They were still all over her back.
Well, I don't apologize for that. It was no more than what my own father did to me for far less a sin. And I thank him for it because it has made me the man I am today. On the porch of my home with my wife, waiting for revelation, secure in the knowledge that my place in heaven is assured.
She always wanted your acceptance. You realize that? She loved you. She feared you, but she loved you. She thought you were so wise, so connected to God. You know, when people change, when they transition, they consider their old name to be a dead name. They usually choose a name that sounds completely different. But our Bobby just changed the spelling, dropped the I, add an IE, because she wanted to make it easy for you. She wanted you to still be able to say her name. What a gift she tried to give you. Can you imagine what it cost her to do that? What it cost her identity?
I didn't want a gift. I wanted a son, and God gave me a son, and my son ruined everything. I have no regrets. How long have you been this angry at me?
Every day. Every day for the last 4 years. I have hated you for what you did, for the way you drove her away, for how wrong you were about nearly everything in our lives.
Then why did you stay with me?
Because I believe you are right about one thing. I believe that this is our last day on earth. And I wanted to be by your side when the rapture came. Because, Timothy, I want to see you left behind. I want the last thing I see before I ascend and greet my daughter is your face, contorted in rage and pain. It's not the sunrise or the long walk or the bottle of good scotch. I want your suffering to be my last earthly pleasure. I hear them now. The birds. This moment, right now, will make a fine dawn to remember. I'm going to walk to town, Timothy, and I'm going to choose a bar. What's the one that you used to drink at all the time? The dog one, the one by the motel. Oh, God. Hounds of My Mother. That's the one. That's perfect. Yeah. I'm going to walk in there and order a bottle of scotch with 2 glasses. Maybe you'll join me. Maybe you won't. I don't care. Someone will. There's no better invitation to a conversation than a full bottle of scotch in an empty glass.
Bess leaves the porch and heads toward the road. She walks for a bit. A few cars pass. Finally, a car slows down, and from the passenger side, a young woman speaks.
Excuse me, miss.
It's been a while since I've been called Miss.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. I prefer Miss to ma'am any day of the week. What can I do for you?
That's Black Oak up ahead, right?
Yes, it is.
Is there a decent motel there?
Depends on what you mean by decent.
Clean, kinda. Comfortable mostly.
Yeah, there's a motel. I'm heading in that direction myself.
Looking for a bed?
No. Stiff drink. Motel's got a bar next to it.
How's the bar?
Clean, kinda. Comfortable mostly.
You want a lift? Since we're heading in the same direction?
It depends on who you got in there with you. Who's that driving this thing?
Name's wrong. Sally here is my wife.
That official?
Near enough.
What's that mean?
It's official in the eyes of the Lord. What else really matters? Government?
I suppose you're right. You a violent man, Ron? Should I be worried about you?
Ain't never hurt no one but myself. That's the truth.
God's honest truth.
Well, if this ain't a day for a bold adventure, I don't know what is. I will take this ride, Ron and Sally, but be warned, I kick like a mule.
Bess puts her hand on the back door, hesitates for a second, then opens it and climbs inside the car.
Thank you kindly for the ride.
Our pleasure. Thank you kindly for the hotel recommendation.
So where are you two from?
All over. But we're coming from Evansville, Indiana.
That's a little bit of ways.
Yeah, we've been driving all night. Just powered on through.
You sound like a man with a mission.
Got ourselves a purpose, that's for sure.
That purpose is in Black Oak?
Why not?
Ron, I can give you 100 why nots. How about you just give me one reason why?
I had a vision.
You had a vision?
I did. A vision of a lightning bolt striking an old oak tree, splitting it and charring it. And so I bolted up out of bed and pulled out a map. As Sally said, we rambled a bit and I saw right here in Arkansas, Black Oak. And I knew that's where the Lord was sending us.
We lost a lot of things, lost a lot of people, and something important is going to happen. And this is the place we need to be. And you seem real nice. So I hope that this early morning drink that you're planning isn't because you're lonely or sad, because no one should be sad or lonely today.
I am sad now and I am lonely, but come tomorrow morning, I will be with someone that I love very, very much. I just pray that she's as happy to see me as I am to see her.
Why wouldn't she be happy to see you?
I did her wrong, or at least I could have done better by her.
She have a good heart?
The best.
Then I'm sure she's the forgiving kind.
Well, sure you're right. The hotel will be up there on the right in a couple more miles. After you check in, would you like to join me for a drink? My treat.
That is very kind of you, but it's been a long, hard road to get here, and we both need a rest. Maybe if you're still there later this evening, we'll stop by.
I got no plans to be anywhere else today.
They pull into the parking lot and Bess exits the car. Her sneakers crunch down hard on the gravel. She walks up to the front door of the bar, My Mother's Hounds, and kicks at the gravel for a bit. It's been a while since she drank here. She grabs the handle, opens the door, and is immediately transported back to the last time. It's 10 years ago. It's 4 a.m., and she's here to pick up Tim, who has passed out at a table in the corner. She walks over to him and sits down next to him. He doesn't stir. She runs her hand across his head. He doesn't move.
You know what I was thinking about today while you're gone? Silliest thing. I was thinking about Bobby's toys. I was thinking about how he used to put all the soldiers in dresses, put all the supermen in dresses, handmade ones. We only got the one kid, and the fact that he wanted to learn how to sew, the fact that he wanted to make little doll clothes for his action figures. God damn, Tim, that just made my whole world come together. To have a son at my knee learning to drop stitch, I can't tell you what that meant. I didn't care that it also meant he was different. I mean, sure, I knew it probably meant he was queer, but I didn't care. Those moments with him, I've never received a greater gift. I will stand at the gates of heaven and tell St. Peter that I have received no greater gift, and I will accept whatever judgment that comes my way. When you saw what he was doing, you took away all his toys. You gave him a Bible and a child's plastic workbench. You decreed that those were the only toys he'd have. That those were all a boy needs. He made paper dolls from St. Paul's letters and knitted a dress in secret and put it on the hammer. And I was never prouder. I was never prouder. He's going to leave as soon as he's able. You know that, right? He'll be out the door. I heard him on the phone making plans. He's going to graduate, work full-time, save up for a year or so, and then he's gone. I'll be lucky to get the occasional phone call. All because of you. We've lost him already. And I have felt no greater pain.
Bess turns her head away. She's back in the present. Midday, in the same bar, at the same table, mostly alone. At roughly the same time, Sally and Ron are on the bed in their motel room. They are both high on fentanyl and drifting in and out of lucidity. Throughout the scene, there's a soft swell of static, washes of ambient noise, sounds that give a queasy, dislocated effect.
Was someone's bed?
It's ours for now.
Where are we?
A motel in Black Oak, Arkansas.
How'd we get here?
We drove.
In a car?
Of course, in a car.
Was there a lady walking beside us along the road?
I think she's getting a beer.
Ron,
Yeah?
we drove all the way here from Indiana?
Yes, sadly. We did.
Yeah, I remember. There was a hole in the car.
No holes, baby. No, lots of dents and dings and scratches, but no holes. That car's just like me. All the damage is cosmetic, not structural.
No, I remember there was a big hole right at my feet. I could see the road going by beneath us, like being on one of those glass bottom boats. And I kept dropping things through it.
Like what? What are you missing?
Is there a woman with us? A nice one?
I think so.
Did she fall through the hole?
I don't know, baby.
Is this our room?
For the night. Yeah.
Just for tonight?
We only need the room for one night. Everyone in the whole wide world just needs their rooms for tonight. Come tomorrow morning, roofs over your head ain't gonna mean shit.
Were we on the road long?
8 hours or so.
I'm so sure that we lost some things along the way.
No, we didn't. We didn't, Sally. I swear.
I had a bracelet. I remember I had one.
Well, I'll buy you a new bracelet.
It slipped off my wrist.
It's replaceable?
It fell right into the hole at my feet.
It's replaceable.
It's not replaceable, Ron. There's only one. I got it for my confirmation. It had a little St. Christopher medal on it.
What were we talking about?
St. Christopher.
Oh, Christopher left a long time ago, baby. We split up in Evansville. He got clean and found Jesus.
We found Jesus, but we didn't get clean.
We're special. Jesus don't need us clean. In fact, Jesus wants us to just slip silently and gracefully into revelations. He wants us to ripen on the branch, to be filled up, to hang plump and heavy, to know that He was at the door to pluck us from this earth.
Do you think that's what happened to Christopher? That he was ready and Jesus plucked him from us?
I do not know His ways, but I do know the hour.
And my bracelet. Will I find that in heaven?
If you search hard enough, I suppose. In heaven, all lost things can be found.
When's the last time we ate?
Couple of days.
When's the last time we had sex?
I don't remember. Do you want to?
Maybe later?
How are you feeling?
I feel like there's a hearth in my heart. You know? like a warm fireplace, right in my very soul. Like, you know, when you cuddle up on the couch with a hot mug of tea and you press it against your chest? That's how I feel inside. Like I once loved someone, something, so fiercely, but only for an instant. And the embers of that love are still there.
It's beautiful, baby. You are beautiful.
Why do I feel so sad all the time?
It just means you ain't high enough.
I don't think I can get much higher.
We'll both be higher soon enough.
How much longer we got?
Clock says it's 3. It's about 15 hours.
Do we have enough to get through?
We got the rest of the pills to get us through the night, and 2 big baggies of skag for the end. You and me, we're just gonna drift off before the apocalypse comes.
Do you think it will be terrifying?
It's the apocalypse. How could it not be terrifying?
I can't handle scary things. You know that.
That's why we got these pills and this powder. You'll close your eyes and wake up in heaven.
You think we'll know anybody in heaven?
I don't know. We didn't always run with the best of company.
We weren't very good people either.
We were good in our hearts. Our intentions were good. It was just our circumstances that were bad.
Didn't we have a baby once?
I think so.
What do you mean you think so?
I feel like there was a baby. I never held him. I think you just told me about him.
What happened to him?
I think we did what all parents do. We traded our baby for happiness. You can carry happiness in your pockets. Babies require both hands.
Maybe it was a dream.
Dreams are also hard to hold on to.
I feel like he could have been a dream. A dream that slipped from heaven into the real world.
Like a falling star.
I dreamt he was beautiful.
It was.
My stomach aches sometimes.
It's nausea. It's from the pills. I get it too.
I have a scar. It's right across my belly.
That could be from anything. I scar so much, so often that I don't even recognize my body anymore.
It feels permanent, like a scar does, but it looks like a wound, like it hasn't fully healed yet.
It's the pills. We don't heal right anymore.
There's so much emptiness inside me.
It's hunger. We haven't eaten in a couple of days.
No, listen. I think we're missing something. I think we're missing our baby.
I thought he was a dream.
I think it only felt like a dream, but I think it was something else, something more. I think it was a miracle. There were angels there in the white room when our baby fell like a star fallen from heaven, blazing like a torch.
The Bible says that stars of the sky fall to the earth as the fig tree sheds its winter fruit when shaken by a gale.
When he fell, he landed on my stomach. And the scar is the crater he left behind. And the angels in the white room lifted him up and out of me.
That's right. I remember you talking about the angels.
I saw them lift him up. and everything was bright white. And they carried him away into the brightness, and they told me that I would see him again. And then they gave me a piece of paper with a date on it, and the date blazed on the paper hot and red. It was angelic script, and it was tomorrow's date, April 23rd, and they said something about a judge, that we would face a judge.
That's why we're here. That's what we're here for, Sally. Judgment. Judgment comes for everyone tomorrow morning. The angels took our baby and told us the day of the apocalypse. And then you left the white room and found me, and we went and got high again and had visions, something fierce, of fire and darkness and fallen stars and the drifting up of all bodies to heaven, leaving this sorrowful earth and all its graves behind. All the worthy people floating away like on an ocean of gentle waves, like being high, like real high, like a perfect mix of pills. All the people feeling like we do in our best moments.
You ever think we'll see him again? Our baby?
I do. I think he'll be the first person we see.
I think when we close our eyes before dawn, we'll have the most beautiful dream. We'll dream all the way through the final judgment. And I feel like in those moments of the dream, my heart will finally speak out loud. My heart usually tells its stories by writing them down and then burning the pages, but in this dream, our last dream, with our baby in our pockets like happiness and the fires of the apocalypse in the sky above our sleeping bodies, I will hear the voice of my heart for the very first time, and that voice will be our son. That voice will be Christopher.
I'm so happy the end is coming.
All of a sudden, I miss everyone.
Me too.
Is it a sad thing that it's just us two now?
No. It's right that we face the end together. Hand in hand. In the same dream. We may be sick. We may be gripped by a hunger that our constant nausea won't let us cure. We may be skin and bones. But baby, I am skin and you are bones. You hold me up and I protect you. And together we make a body. And that's all I need.
Do you have any wishes for us? Anything left unfulfilled?
I wish we had more emotion. I wish we'd gotten to see more of this world. Now that it's almost over, I can really feel its mileage, you know? I'm aware of its roads stretching out in all directions, moving away from us. I would have liked for you and me to follow more of them roads. And I wish we held on to what we loved just a little tighter.
I will hold you until the end comes. And when the end comes, I won't let the angels separate us. I won't let go of anything this time.
There's a swell of static The sound of a great machine grinding its gears. Silence. Wind. Somewhere in the distance is a baby's laughter. At my mother's hounds, it's closing in on midnight. Bess is sitting with her bottle of expensive scotch. She pours a glass, the sound of the scotch hitting the ice. Low in the background, the sounds of chatter and laughter. A coin enters a jukebox. In My Time of Dying plays. Lee approaches.
You are ruining an excellent bottle of scotch with that ice.
Well, that's the only thing that gets ruined today. It'll be a damn miracle.
Truer words.
There's something I can help you with, my dear?
Nah. I was coming to buy a bottle and drink alone, and here you are, and we're both ladies of a certain age, and if we both take tables in this place and drink alone, then won't that just make this the saddest bar in the world?
My mother's hounds was fated to be saddest bar long before you and I walked through its doors. But if you're concerned about bringing down the room, you can join me. What brings you here?
The search for whiskey and courage.
Whiskey we got. Courage is trickier these days.
The sounds of scotch hitting a glass, no rocks. The sound of a chair being pulled out from a table. Lee sits.
Thanks for the drink. Is that why you're here? Looking for courage?
I don't need courage. I got faith.
Faith's a kind of courage.
That's one way of looking at it, I suppose.
What's the other way?
I suppose, if I'm being honest, faith kept me from asking the tough questions. I'm making some hard choices.
That's a risk we all run. I'm Lee, by the way.
I'm Bess. You a woman of faith, Lee?
I left my faith at the door of this bar, like a pair of muddy boots.
Well, cheers to that.
The sound of two glasses clinking together.
Are they heavy boots?
Well, I feel lighter now, untethered. Perfect for a night like this.
Something special about this night?
You ever wondered if what you'd do if it was your last night on Earth?
All the time. In fact, I'm doing it right now.
Wondering.
No.
I feel like we're both dancing around something.
I always thought that for my last night on Earth, I'd tell my husband to go to hell, and then I'd grab a table in a bar or the most expensive bottle of scotch they got and wait to see what happens next. And then I thought, you know what? That's a pretty good plan for any old night of the week. Apocalypse or no, can't wait for the apocalypse to make a bold move, Lee.
I didn't say anything about an apocalypse.
You didn't have to. You got that look. And you got them muddy boots.
The sound of footsteps coming toward the table. Bess closes her eyes. She knows what's coming next.
You are ruining an excellent bottle of scotch.
So I've been told.
You'd think after all of our years together, you would have learned how to drink.
I guess some lessons never take hold. Lee, this is my husband, Timothy.
Pleased to meet you.
Trust me, there's nothing pleasing about him.
Pardon me, Ms.
It's just Lee, no Ms.
Pardon me, Lee, but may I have a word in private with my wife?
You okay with that, Bess?
It's fine, Lee. You can stay. When we're done, you can come on back, or there's a young woman all alone over at that table over there who looks like she could use a refill. I suggest ordering a bottle and asking if you can join her.
Really? You think?
I do.
She's young.
Too young to be sitting alone in a bar this late at night.
What do you mean?
What do you think I mean?
Are you implying something? Is there something you noticed?
I'm implying a girl like that young and that pretty, sitting alone at a bar at this time of night. She probably got a story. Might be worth hearing.
I don't know. She looks a little intimidating.
Don't got to be an end of the world situation to make you take a bold step, but can't hurt. Grab a bottle and head over. We'll talk later.
Okay. Damn. She is real pretty. Bartender, if you've got another bottle of this, I'll take it in 2 glasses, please.
Lee stares Timothy in the eye and heads to the bar to retrieve a bottle.
She seems nice.
She is.
It seems kind of wrong, don't you think? Making friends this close to dawn?
Not at all. I've always measured happiness in hours.
We've had our struggles, Bess, I know that. We've had our hard times, and I have been the cause of a lot of that. I am aware. And I have sought forgiveness for all I've done. Maybe I sought it from the Lord with more fervor than I sought it from you. And that is wrong too. But I really believe that I was going to greet the apocalypse, having had a happy life with you. And now, to find out that I have been mistaken, it tears me up.
You have not sought forgiveness for all you've done.
Not every single thing I've done needs to be forgiven.
Good luck telling the Lord that.
He is on my side in this. He is on my side in this, Bess. And I worry now for your soul.
My soul.
What you're doing is a great sin.
Loving our daughter is a great sin.
Yes.
Bess pours scotch into 2 glasses. It's a generous pour.
You drinking, Tim? Because if you ain't, there's no reason for you to be in a bar on the night before the end of the world. Hell, if you ain't drinking, if you ain't going hard off the wagon, then I doubt your faith. You're about to lose all earthly concerns the way you lost your compassion years ago. So why hang on to your sobriety? You're a God-fearing man who knows the day and the hour. Or are you a faithless coward hedging his bets?
After doing a shot at the bar, Lee has drummed up enough courage to make an approach.
Hello.
Hello.
I have 2 glasses.
Okay.
And a bottle. I should have started with that.
Okay.
May I sit and drink with you? I have a bottle.
It looks like a good bottle. Sure. Have a seat.
Lee pulls a chair away from the table. It scrapes and squeaks across the floor. It draws attention. It's embarrassing. It's a perfect moment. She sits.
I'm Lee.
Nice to meet you. I'm Alice.
You know, on August 4th, 1621, in Scotland, they had a terrible day of weather. Rough storms, winds, rain, the sky turned black as night. And a lot of people thought it was the apocalypse. They were sure of it. So sure that a bunch committed suicide.
Really? They killed themselves because of a dark and rainy day in Scotland. If they did that every time it rained, there'd be nothing in that country but sheep and cattle.
It wasn't just that. They saw it as a sign of impending Armageddon because King James VI had just merged the Presbyterian Church of Scotland with the Episcopalian Church of England.
What's the difference between the two?
Has mostly to do with bishops,
With bishops?
whether or not to have them.
So they thought the apocalypse was coming because of
A dispute over governance. Yeah, they killed themselves over bureaucracy.
damn.
A glass of whiskey then for the Scots.
Let's do it.
Lee pours the scotch.
Do you know when the first apocalypse prediction was?
No. But then that isn't knowledge I ever thought I'd need. But I'll take a shot. It's a Christian concept, so 11th or 12th century.
Nope. It happened in 66 CE, so around 30 years after the death of Jesus, and about 10 years after the Gospels were written. Someone important thought that the war between the Jews and the Romans was the actual war of Armageddon. So you could see, as a species, we've been given a lot of thought to the expiration date of humanity.
And you specifically have given it a lot of thought too.
It's how I was raised,
How the hell were you raised?
with a lot of rules, a lot of suffering, and a lot of math.
Math sounds terrible.
Calculations, predictions, formulas. I was raised looking back at all the apocalypses that ever happened, and I had to check their work.
So I guess their numbers didn't add up.
Oh, honey, I shit you not. There was this one formula. A guy had based the date of the apocalypse on the dimensions of Noah's Ark.
What do those two things even have to do with each other?
Nothing and everything. Like numbers in any religion, right? They're incredibly important. Numbers that repeat have immense significance. It's like breaking a code. All prophecy comes from assigning significance to a sequence of numbers.
I do that sometimes. Like I say to myself in the morning that if I see the number 5 times on the way to work, I'll have a good day. It's fun to do every once in a while.
Where I grew up, it's all we did. We searched the Bible for numbers, and we did calculations like God created the world in 6 days, right?
So I've heard.
Well, the number of the beast in the book of Revelations is 666. So if 6 is the number of creation. And 666 is the number of the end of creation. You have to ask yourself, what's the relation? Well, 666 divided by 6 is 111, the sum of the chapters of the 4 Gospels plus Revelations is 111. So there you have it. You have the beginning, which is 6, and the end, which is 666. And in between, you have 111 chapters of the life of Jesus Christ and the end of creation. The Alpha and the Omega. And if that's not enough, Psalm 111 is basically God's manifesto. It lists his great and terrible works, and its final stanza begins with the phrase, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom."
Is that true?
Every word of it is true. But the connections are all mine. And after you do that kind of stuff in good faith for long enough, you start to realize that if you're looking for patterns, you're gonna find patterns. It doesn't mean you found truth. Hell, it doesn't even mean you discovered coincidence.
Where the hell did you grow up?
A place called Akarusa, Oklahoma.
Never heard of it.
Well, it's not much of a city as it is a private community full of white supremacists and doomsday preppers.
Holy shit.
So where are you from?
No, so you're just gonna leave that out there like that, no explanations?
For now, let's talk about you.
I am unsettled deeply. Is that okay? I'm from Elm Springs, which is about 20 miles away.
So what do you got to note in Elm Springs?
We got nothing and nobody. You know how on the Wikipedia entry for a city, they have that section for notable people, like from the city?
Yeah.
Our section says notable person, just the one. And that one person of note is a guy who founded a freaking truck company. That's the only person from our city who ever did a damn thing.
What about you? You seem accomplished.
Well, it took nearly 30 years to get just over 20 miles away from that place. So no one needs to update the Elm Spring Wikipedia page on my account.
I'll edit it for you.
Oh, what would you edit it to say?
Notable people. Alice. Prettiest woman to come out of Arkansas. And I'd leave that trucker guy up there because, you know, trucking's important.
Wow. That line really hit the sweet spot between charming and clumsy.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm gay.
Well, yeah, I guess that now.
Are you gay?
Well, who's any one thing these days, really?
So I'm not scaring you away.
The flirting don't scare me. It's your hometown that does.
I understand.
And, you know, I should point out that you have a really obvious dent on your finger where a wedding ring was.
I know.
And I don't mean like a recently divorced dent. I mean like took it off 5 seconds before you walked into this bar kind of dent.
I have a husband and I have kids and I don't want to be with them tonight. I don't want to be alone either.
Why not?
Because the world's going to end tomorrow morning.
Get the hell out of here.
I did the calculations April 23rd.
Do you really believe that? Do you really believe the world will end tomorrow?
Yes. No. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So we're talking about the apocalypse here, right?
Yes.
Like fire, demons, the four horsemen, all of it.
Yes. All of it.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you just go back to awkwardly flirting with you?
No, we're here now. We cannot go back. Call it the forced intimacy of the apocalypse if you like, but we need to talk this through. So, what makes you so sure the apocalypse is happening tomorrow?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so what makes you so unsure?
The numbers add up and the signs are there. I just don't trust my interpretation.
What are the signs and numbers?
Do you care?
No, I don't. What I really want to know is what were the signs and numbers that brought a wife and mother from Oklahoma to a bar in Arkansas to sit at a table and clumsily flirt with a woman and fret about the end of the world?
When you grow up in a place like Akarusa, it's a hateful place. But not like regular hate, racism, sexism, homophobia, the garden variety kind, you know, the kind that's from the gut or the kind that's passed down in slurs and jokes from father to son, shit that comes from fear of feeling powerless. No. Hate in Akarusa is systematic, thought out, provable with equations. Only the Nordic and Anglo-Saxons are the true descendants of Abraham. We've got charts and family trees, all that stuff. We can recite all of who begat who, and we trace our lineage back to Adam. Jews and Africans and Sodomites were the children of Cain, and Cain is the result of Eve coupling with Satan. So when I was young, I started to realize that I liked girls. I knew right away that it was wrong. That I was wrong. It was provable. It was fact. So I pushed it down. I piled everything on top of it. Books, prophecy, signs and symbols. If I were to unbutton this shirt a little bit, you know, you'd see the tattoo that my husband, my then boyfriend, gave me when I was 15. It's a symbol of hate, and I'm ashamed of it, and it's right above my heart.
You married your high school boyfriend?
I wasn't particularly interested in trying out multiple boys.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
So I did the calculations, added up the ages of everyone in the Old Testament, divided by the number of days Jesus spent in the desert, calculated the number of times you need to have sex with your husband to keep him from feeling bad about himself, multiplied that by the number of whiskeys you need to be numb but not unresponsive, divided that by the number of horns on the beast of Revelations, multiplied that by the multitudes of angels at the apocalypse. calculated the bare number of children you need to have to appear like a proper member of a community dedicated to producing more and more white babies, and always searching for that one date, the date of Armageddon. It was a desperate thing for me to try to find it. I desperately wanted everything to end, and now it's here. And I ran away. And I looked for a bar, and I looked for the most beautiful woman in the bar. And I sat down at her table with a bottle and 2 glasses, and now I don't know what to do next. But I know that I don't want everything to end.
Why not? What's different now?
Because I just found out that there's a bar 30 minutes drive from home with a really good scotch. And the prettiest girl I've ever seen who didn't recoil when I told her about my life. And my husband and my tattoo.
I'm not known to scare away.
That's good.
What about your kids?
What do you mean?
You think the world's going to end tomorrow?
Half think.
Half think. You're here with me instead of home with them.
If the world ends tomorrow, then I will see them again. And it will be like this night never happened. And if it doesn't end, then I don't know if I will ever see them again. I don't know if I can go back to being the same person that I was before I left, and I don't want. I won't be let in again as the person that I am now. And I still want to be this person. I honestly don't know whether I want the world to end. Does that make me terrible?
No, not to me. I know a bit about what it's like to feel trapped by people you love. And I'm familiar with that love being the result of a series of mistakes and compromises and cowardice and just all around bad shit. And I know all about how love and resentment can get all mixed up together. Apocalypse or no, Lee, you deserve at least one night on the run from your life.
So, what's your story?
My story?
Yeah.
What makes you think I have a story?
Woman like you, sitting alone in a bar this late on a Sunday night.
A woman like me?
Yeah.
I have no idea what a woman like me means.
It means you're special.
Well, we'll see about that. Is it really bad, the tattoo?
It's a scarlet L.
Oh, I don't get how that's so terrible. Isn't that just the first letter of your name? I mean, it's weird to get some part of your own name tattooed on you, like you're in danger of forgetting who you are, but still.
It's what the Silver Legion of America used to wear on their shirts in the 30s and 40s. They were the US's first, established fascist group. And the L over their hearts stood for loyalty to the United States and liberation from materialism.
Those don't sound like such bad things.
Well, in this context, United States means white. And materialism means Jews.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not a good thing to have on your body. But here's the thing, though. See, it's all about interpretation. It's just an L. You're ascribing meaning to it. That's what's given it its power. What you need to do is get drunk tonight and find a woman who will take you home. And in the morning, we'll lie in bed with you with a tube of lipstick in hand and add an O and a V and an E to that L. Or maybe even a ESBIA and N. So much is unwritten, Lee. You need to start looking at the world that way. And you should find someone to help you do that.
You're right. That wouldn't be a job that you'd be interested in, would it?
I'll tell you what. Let's you and I drink all night together. And then come dawn, we'll walk outside together, hold hands. And if the sky is on fire, if you got all the numbers right and the apocalypse is here, we'll face the consequences of that together. And if it's just a bright, clear day, we'll go get breakfast like a proper date. And we'll face the consequences of that together too.
They continue to talk and drink and laugh. Several hours later, they exit the bar. It's a few minutes before dawn. Bess is sitting on the steps, staring at the sky. Cars pass along the road. Birds chirp.
Oh. Hi, Bess.
Ali, who's this with you?
Alice,
Pleasure to meet you, Alice.
likewise.
What are you doing out here?
Waiting for the world to end. How about you?
Waiting for the world to begin again.
I like your style, Lee. Grab a seat.
Where's your husband?
Inside, staring at a full glass of scotch, raising it to his lips, putting it down again. Perfect little frozen moment of hell. So, why did you think the world was going to end this morning?
Math. You?
Faith.
I'm rooting for both things to fail us.
Fair enough.
Are you rooting for it to end?
I am. Maybe, yeah.
Why?
Because for me, the world ended years ago. And it just hasn't had the damn decency to crack open, to roar, to make the sky as blood. And if there is no grand exit, no final ultimatum, ultimate destruction, Alice, how will we ever find peace?
In tiny moments, in fits and starts and little sips.
You got yourself a smart girl there, Lee.
I know. If these be my last moments, then I really do want a few moments more.
Bess, what will you do if it ends? What will you do if it doesn't?
Simple fact is that heaven for me is any world without Timothy in it. So if the rapture happens, I'll rise and leave all my earthly possessions and sins behind. And if it doesn't, well, I'm still leaving all my earthly possessions and sins behind. I'm starting over somewhere else. Lives are ending here this morning, no matter what.
Lives are beginning here this morning, no matter what.
They sit together, heads on each other's shoulders. There's a gentle wind, the sound of birds. There is light through the trees, and ultimately, silence.
They say the first will be last, and the last will be first. So if this is last call, I have a terrible thirst. Let's get another round. You can add it to my bill. 'Cause if the world is ending, I'm gonna drink my fill. I'm cranking up the jukebox till the floorboards start to shake. We'll so disturb the dead that even the dust of the earth shall awake. If this is the end, and if this bar is hell, let the devil know I always tip well. I never get into fights, and even if I did, the son of a bitch had it coming, and the first punch was his. I've been knocked around some, and it got the scars to prove that even if you're righteous, you know you're gonna lose. They say a hard life is a gift from the Lord. I must have fucked up in a past life to deserve such a reward. I'd like to raise a glass to the faithful who still seek, to those who wrestle angels and keep a razor in their cheek. I love you for your sorrow. I love you for your doubt. I love a sad backstory and the way you work a crowd. Now I raise a glass for old John Donne, for his battered heart and his bleeding thumb. A circle in a circle of a ring that's been returned. Divinity or poetry, we never fucking learn. What waits outside for me on the other side of that door must surely break my heart, or else what's a heaven for? This won't be the first time I leave a bar at dawn, splash my face with holy water, transubstantiate on someone's lawn, stagger to a house that's never been a home, hide everything I am and bear that guilt alone. If it takes an apocalypse to rid me of my fear, to live more in 12 hours than in all my wasted years, I will tell the angels to take me